The earth shook. A monstrous detonation ripped through the air. In the Vladimir region, far from the front lines in Ukraine, Russia faced an unexpected crisis. An ammunition depot, a vital hub for its military machine, was consumed by fire. Videos of the inferno spread quickly, painting a picture of chaos and destruction. The scale of the blast was undeniable, a hammer blow against Russia's war effort. The 51st Main Missile and Artillery Directorate, GRAU, Arsenal, a key storage site for Russia's arsenal, was now a sea of flames. Secondary explosions followed the first, turning the night sky into a terrifying spectacle. The depot, meant to be a place of military strength, became a symbol of vulnerability. The Kremlin, caught off guard, scrambled to contain the narrative. They claimed an accidental explosion, the result of mishandled explosives. But doubts lingered. The sheer force of the blast, the location so deep inside Russia, raised suspicions. Was this truly an accident or something more calculated? The aftermath revealed the devastating truth. The depot, once a sprawling complex, was reduced to rubble. Twisted metal and shattered concrete stretched as far as the eye could see. The Kremlin's explanation, blaming human error, rang hollow for many. The intensity of the blast, its location, hinted at a different story. Experts weighed in, their analysis casting doubt on the official line. Some pointed to the possibility of sabotage, a daring raid by Ukrainian special forces. Others suggested a long-range missile strike, a demonstration of Ukraine's growing reach. The lack of clarity fueled speculation, turning the incident into a battleground of information. Ukraine, for its part, remained characteristically tight-lipped. They didn't claim responsibility, but they didn't deny it either. This strategic ambiguity had become a hallmark of their response, keeping Russia guessing while rallying their own people. The message was clear: Russia was not untouchable, even within its own borders. While the world debated the cause of the explosion, one thing was clear: it aligned perfectly with Ukraine's strategy. From the outset, they had targeted Russia's logistical weaknesses, aiming to disrupt and degrade their ability to wage war. The ammunition depot, a crucial link in Russia's supply chain, was a high-value target. By hitting such targets, Ukraine aimed to achieve several key objectives. First, to starve the Russian war machine. Without a steady flow of ammunition, particularly artillery shells, Russia's offensives would grind to a halt. Second, to sow fear and uncertainty within Russia itself. No longer could they believe themselves invulnerable. This was a different kind of warfare, one that played out in the shadows. It was about disrupting supply lines, destroying critical infrastructure, and undermining morale. Ukraine, outgunned and outmanned, was fighting a smart war, exploiting Russia's vulnerabilities with surgical precision. The impact of the explosion was felt immediately on the battlefield. Russian artillery fire, a constant threat for Ukrainian forces, became noticeably less frequent in some areas. The loss of such a large stockpile of ammunition, particularly artillery shells, was a blow that Russia could not easily absorb. The incident exposed a glaring weakness in Russia's military planning over reliance on artillery. Their tactics, often described as a meat grinder, depended on a constant barrage of shells. Without it, their advance stalled, their positions more vulnerable. The logistical strain on Russia was immense. Replacing the destroyed ammunition would require a Herculean effort, diverting resources from other areas and exposing their supply lines to further attack. The explosion had given Ukraine a crucial advantage, buying them time and breathing space on the battlefield. Section 5. Why Ammo Matters, the Lifeblood of Conflict. The destruction of the Russian ammunition depot highlighted a fundamental truth of warfare. Ammunition is not just important, it's everything. Without a constant and reliable supply of bullets, shells, and rockets, armies are reduced to impotence. Throughout history, wars have been won and lost based on logistics, on the ability to keep troops supplied with the tools of war. Napoleon famously said, "An army marches on its stomach, but it fights with ammunition." Without it, armies are paralyzed, unable to advance or defend. The incident served as a stark reminder to the world. Modern warfare may be fought with advanced technology, but its foundation remains unchanged. Ammunition is the lifeblood of conflict, and disrupting its flow can be as decisive as any battle on the front lines. Section 6 Drones, the silent game changers. While the exact cause of the explosion remained shrouded in mystery, one possibility loomed: large drones. These unmanned aerial vehicles, once the stuff of science fiction, have become ubiquitous on the modern battlefield. Their ability to strike with precision, often undetected, made them a potent weapon, particularly for a force like Ukraine. Drones offered several key advantages. They were relatively cheap to produce and operate, especially compared to traditional fighter jets. They could be deployed discreetly, infiltrating enemy airspace with relative ease, and they could loiter over targets for extended periods, gathering intelligence and waiting for the opportune moment to strike. The incident at the Russian ammunition depot, whether caused by drones or not, highlighted their growing significance. They had leveled the playing field, giving smaller nations like Ukraine a way to strike back against larger, more powerful adversaries. The era of drone warfare had arrived, and its impact was only beginning to be felt. Section 7. Global Tremors, Wider Implications of the Blast. The explosion in Vladimir sent shockwaves far beyond the battlefields of Ukraine. It was a stark reminder that this conflict, though geographically confined, had the potential to escalate with unpredictable consequences. The world watched nervously, aware that any miscalculation could have catastrophic results. The incident also underscored the interconnectedness of the globalized world. The war in Ukraine had already disrupted energy markets, sent food prices soaring, and threatened global food security. The destruction of the ammunition depot, and the potential for further escalation, only heightened these concerns. The international community found itself at a crossroads. The need for a negotiated settlement was more urgent than ever, but the path to peace seemed fraught with obstacles. The explosion served as a stark reminder. The stakes were incredibly high, not just for Ukraine and Russia, but for the entire world. Section 8. An Uncertain Dawn. The Path Ahead. The explosion at the Russian ammunition depot marked a turning point in the conflict, but its ultimate significance remained unclear. It was a victory for Ukraine undoubtedly, but how would Russia respond? Would they escalate further, or would this incident give them pause? One thing was certain: the war had entered a new phase. The front lines were no longer the only battleground. Logistics, infrastructure, and the flow of information had become critical theaters of operation. The conflict had become a complex and unpredictable chess match, with each side seeking to outmaneuver and outsmart the other. As the sun rose over the smoldering ruins of the depot, the future of the conflict remained shrouded in uncertainty. The world held its breath, hoping for a swift and peaceful resolution, but bracing itself for a long and bloody conflict. The only certainty was that the war in Ukraine, already a tragedy for all involved, was far from over.